to announce that we, with united hands, mark special contribution for the monumental occasions IEEE Day Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, an initiative to celebrate 75 years of glorious independence, as well as contribute our bit in seeking to find practical global solutions for the benefit of all. The aim of India during its G20 presidency tenure in 2023. This webinar is an initiative to mark all these monumentous occasions, IEEE Day, Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, as well as our G20 presidency. IEEE Day is celebrated on 3rd October every year worldwide to commemorate the first time in history when engineers worldwide and IEEE members gathered to share their technical ideas in 1884. This year, BVI CAM is celebrating an IEEE Pakwara from 1st October to 15th October 2023 to celebrate the same. Different technical and cultural events have been planned for the national IEEE student members and the student community at large for the same. IEEE Day theme is leveraging technology for a better tomorrow. While the world benefits from what's new, IEEE focuses on what's next. According to Tim O'Reilly, what new technology does is create new opportunities to do a job that customers want done. This simple quote indicates the massive transformation that technology is capable of unveiling. The theme for IEEE Day, Leveraging Technology for a Better Tomorrow, also recognizes the importance of building on past achievements. What is technology? How it can help us build a better future? Who is impacted how? What are our rights? Are some questions that many of us would have in mind. The session shall also uncover the who, what, and how of the current technologies that are and shall impact the human society in a considerable way in the current times. This webinar today aims to discuss the various aspects of technology in ensuring a better tomorrow. I would first take this opportunity to welcome amongst us our distinguished panelists for the day. We are privileged to have amongst us a galaxy of experts. I would now request Professor M.N. Huda Sir, Director, Bharati Vidyapeeth's Institute of Computer Applications and Management, BVI CAM, and Executive Vice Chairperson, IEEE Delhi Section, to address the participants with his inspiring words.
Am I audible, Dr. Ritika?
Yes, sir.
Good evening, one and all. And on behalf of IEEE Delhi section, IEEE entire North India, IEEE as a whole, and on my personal behalf, I take first and the foremost at the outset the opportunity to welcome the Honorable Professor K.K. Aggarwal, sir, who has been the founder, Vice Chancellor of Guru Gobind Singh Indraprasth University, and for 2 terms he established the university. He has also been the former chairman of National Board of Accreditation, Government of India, and to me and to many people like me, a fatherly figure, a mentor, a philosopher, and a guide. So thank you so much, sir. You are always a great source of strength. As and when I request, you never say no to me. And this lecture was again in hurriedly organized, and with your blessings, all of us are here. So thank you so much, sir. I also take this opportunity to pay my gratitude and thanks to everyone from the collaborating professional societies who have joined for this particular special, very special lecture series. Lectures we are organizing, all of you are aware that in the backdrop of COVID-19 in June 2020, we started this series under IEEE, IETE, CSI, ISTE, BVICAM weekly evening webinar series. In between, this few special sessions have also been organized. Today's special session is one amongst them, which is being organized on such a momentous occasion of Happy Gandhi Jayanti to first all Indians and then of course the entire world. And then of course on a precursor note of the Foundation Day of IEEE Global. Entire world is celebrating IEEE Day in the first week of October, and we at IEEE Delhi section have decided to celebrate a 15 days Pakwara in the backdrop of IEEE Foundation Day celebrations 2023. And dear friends, the topic for this Foundation Day, IEEE Day 2023, is so apt, so generic, and so important that leveraging technology for better tomorrow. What could have been a better topic like this? And that's how I always say that everything in and around us are changing, and so we are also changing. And that's how it is said that इंसान घर बदलता है, लिबास बदलता है, रिश्ते बदलता है, दोस्त बदलता है, फिर भी परेशान क्यों रहता है? क्योंकि हम अपने आप को नहीं बदलते. And that's how Ghalib said that उम्र भर गालिब यही भूल करता रहा, उम्र भर गालिब यही भूल करता रहा, धूल चेहरे पे थी और मैं आईना साफ करता रहा. Many of us keep on talking about the negative sides, the side effects of the technology, but this is the time to understand that in last almost 50 years, and particularly last 20 years, technology has helped us to that extent that nothing else could have helped us in that particular way. If we look back and see that how much technology has impacted our day-to-day life, probably it is the countless efforts and the countless contribution which technology has given us. A little background Dr. Ritika has already given. We have a valued speaker, none other than Professor K.K. Aggarwal sir, to make us to understand, who has seen the initial inception of the technology as a teacher, as a student, and has also embraced the advancement of the technology of 21st century. So who else could have been a better speaker on this theme on IEEE Foundation Day in the backdrop of Gandhi Jayanti to speak on this topic? That's how with folded hand I have requested, and sir is here. Just to sensitize you or to make you to understand that when we are talking technology and leveraging technology for better tomorrow, it could be uses of technology in any of our field, which primarily in our day-to-day activities we are using, maybe from personal domain to professional domain. And when I'm talking this, it may be at one end optimizing operations in our day-to-day activities, day-to-day applications. Then at the other end, it may be creating effective and efficient solutions for any given complex problem. At one end, it may be maximizing revenue. Then at the other end, it may be simplifying and streamlining the processes. And dear friends, more importantly, how to utilize technology to improvise the quality of the human life. We have recently seen that the technology has helped us to land at the moon and make us to understand that how the life is happening and how else it could happen. Now we are trying to land on sun as. Dear friends, the challenge at this moment is not to improvise the technology, rather to ensure that whatever technologies are in our hand, how to bring these technologies as closer as possible to the common man and to the general masses. That is the kind of the challenge which we are going to have. We have seen the initial version of IBM Watson, that it was helping people to make decision and create very simple solutions, and that simple software with the help of the very elementary AI started around 2 decades ago was capable of helping housewife at one side to understand how to cook delicious food. Then at the same time, the same software was so versatile that it was helping a lawyer to plan a case and present in the court. At one end, the technology, the same AI-based application was helping a doctor to diagnose a patient. That then at the other end, the same application was helping a town planner to design and plan in a smart city. That's the kind of the length and the breadth of the technology. With this background, I always say that oh technology ke musafir, तुम्हें अभी बहुत दूर जाना है. ओ टेक्नोलॉजी के मुसाफिर, तुम्हें अभी बहुत दूर जाना है. पत्थरों पे गुलाब खिलाना है और आंधियों में चिराग जलाना है. This technology is going to make it a reality, make it to happen for all of us. So without taking much time, we all are eager to listen Honorable Professor K.K. Aggarwal sir, and that he has seen all the three phases of the technology in inception, technology in a prevalent situation, and then the disruptive applications of the technology, which has disrupted almost everything in and around us. So he has seen all three phases, and with this note, that this will help us to understand how and in which way the technology are going to change our day-to-day applications, the day-to-day life, day-to-day communication pattern, and everything in and around us. Thank you so much, my dear friends. Keep registering for our forthcoming lecture sessions. Keep joining our sessions. All of you from various parts of the country and abroad, keep waiting for this evening lecture session, which is only for the purpose of knowledge dissemination. Your eagerness to attend the lecture keeps us giving a strength and energy to organize it and sustain this lecture series. Just you will be happy to know, because many of you are attending these lecture series right from its inception in June 2020, that this lecture series organized by Bharati Vidyapeeth on behalf of IEEE Delhi section has been adjudicated as one of the best initiative undertaken during COVID by IEEE headquarters, and November 2023, this is going to be awarded in US as the most sustainable lecture series of the world, and that too in the backdrop of the COVID, for the purpose of knowledge dissemination. This is a kind of great achievement for the team who has been at the back end, and almost all lectures are on holidays. All lectures are when the people celebrate their off, but my team members is always with me, and on all holidays and on the occasions when people hardly try to do anything except their personal work, they are here for all of us, and they also need a great appreciations. Thank you so much. Wish you all the best. Keep learning despite disruptions, and keep disseminating information which we discuss here. And like always, that फूलों की तरह फिर खिलेंगे हम, फूलों की तरह फिर खिलेंगे हम, और अगले सैटरडे, इसी सैटरडे को यानी अगले सैटरडे एक नए टॉपिक के साथ फिर मिलेंगे हम. Thank you so much. All the best. God bless you all. Over to you, Dr. Ritika.
Thank you, sir. With this, I would first welcome amongst us our expert speaker, Professor K.K. Aggarwal, sir, with an e-bouquet. Professor K.K. Aggarwal, sir, has been the former chairman, National Board of Accreditation, NBA. During his distinguished career, he has also served as Pro Vice Chancellor, GJU Hisar, for a period of 3 years, and subsequently as the founder Vice Chancellor of Guru Gobind Singh Indraprastha University, Delhi, for a period of 10 years. Sir rose to the level of professor at an age of 27 and a half years at the National Institute of Technology, Kurukshetra, probably the youngest to achieve this level. He has been the president of the Institution of Electronics and Telecommunication Engineers, IETE, during 2002-2004, President Computer Society of India during 2007-2009, and President of Southeast Asia Regional Computer Confederation, SARC, during 2008 to 10. He has also been the chairman, BOG, of MNIT Jaipur during 2012-15. Professor Aggarwal has been widely consulted by the industry, most notable being his contribution towards the reliability analysis of PSLV, Polar Satellite Launch Vehicle. He was conferred the honorary fellowship by Broadcast Society of India and was decorated with Lifetime Achievement Award by IETE and also by Computer Society of India. Professor Aggarwal is a distinguished fellow at VIF and is associated with the VIF activities, particularly in the domain of education. We are honored to have you amongst us, sir, today, and I would now request you to kindly enlighten the House. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Ritika, and thank you, Dr. Hoda, for nice and elaborate introduction, because we have known each other for decades now. So naturally, you know more sentences about each other and more words about each other. I'm so happy always to be a part of your functions for various reasons. First is I honor and respect the commitment to the society which the institution and particularly Dr. Hoda has shown. Something which started as a fallout of COVID because we had nothing else to do. So we started this webinar series and continuing up to 134th lecture today is not a small thing. I think one will have to just put some pressure to understand what does it mean to continue for 134 special lectures. And this is a great service to the society. And all these lectures are available on the media is standing a good resource material for the youth of this country, which needs to know much more than the bookish knowledge. Friends, I'm very happy with the topic which IEEE has decided for this year. It's leveraging technology for a better tomorrow. So it's not talking about technology per se, because technologies keep changing, but it's leveraging technology for better tomorrow. I think title says it all. As we write the abstract of a paper, I think this title is the abstract of my talk today. That is, how do we use technology for a better tomorrow? That is the essence of about 40-45 minutes I talk, which Dr. Hoda wanted me to. Friends, today we have a coincidence, a great coincidence for India. We have a birthday of Mahatma Gandhi, the world's, probably the world's tallest leader, and we are so proud of him. You are doing 134th lecture today. Gandhiji was born 154 years ago on this date. And friends, look at people might have various perceptions. Technology is always contextual. Technology is always thematic. Technology is always need-based. If technology is not that, then somewhere we are losing the use of technology. Dr. Hoda in his initial remarks did say कि हम लिबास बदलते हैं, ये बदलते हैं, वो बदलते हैं, पर फिर भी परेशान क्यों रहते हैं? मेरे विचार से परेशान इसलिए रहते हैं कि हम कुछ चीजें जो नहीं बदलनी चाहिए उनको भी बदल देते हैं. For example, I believe irrespective of the technology, our positive thought process should not change. Irrespective of the technology, our nationalism should not change. Irrespective of the technology, our value system should not change. Irrespective of the technology, our family system should not change. But in the process, we have changed some of these systems also. It's not a direct byproduct of technology, but somewhere technology has influenced this also, and we have not been able to arrest that. I think the challenge for the users of technology for all ages is to filter out the negative uses of technology and encourage the positive uses of technology. And this challenge has been there always, right from day one of the technology. I have been saying many times that one of the earliest technology fire, it was a nice boon to cook the food. But if somebody thinks I'll burn my neighbor's house using this technology, it cannot be said to be the fault of technology. It is the fault of the user, it's the fault of the society, which encourages some such elements also which misuse the technology. This is one of the earliest technology. Then we had, say, for example, knife. A knife was a technology which was invented to chop off things to make it more usable. But then if you stab your enemy's back using that knife, it's not a fault of the knife. So we go on, I can go on giving examples and example. Wheel was one of the earliest technology of Industrial Revolution 1, if I may call it. But it is responsible for all our vehicles, right from cycle or tricycle for a child up to the aeroplane. But This vehicle is this wheel has also been used as a shastra by none other than Lord Krishna. So the technology per se, what do you do of it is important. Technology per se is always a positive advancement, and how do we make use of it? I was talking about Mahatma Gandhi because it's necessary for a few minutes to be talked on that today. Technology, he thought at that time, was charkha. And we may call it a very primitive technology today because it looks primitive today. But imagine the thought process behind. By popularizing charkha, he had set up a small scale industry in every house. We today do talk, particularly after COVID, whether we should have very large industrial units where the laborers didn't know where to go, or we should have reasonably medium-sized industrial units nearer homes. This is the topic of discussion even today. But Mahatma Gandhi at that time could think of, why can't have a technology in every house, in every residential unit, and everybody can operate it. If a father has gone for work, the mother can use the same machine and spin the yarn. And that was a concept which I still think is very relevant for this country. I can summarize it in one line. It's not mass production which we need, it's production by masses which we need. And that was the philosophy of putting a machine in every house. We also today celebrate the birthday of other very important person in this country, our former Prime Minister, Shri Lal Bahadur Shastri. I am relating that to technology too. There was a railway accident. He was railway minister, and he offered to resign. He was told, "It's technology's fault. It's not your fault, sir." He says, "Yes, but we are supposed to monitor the technology." That is the essence, that technology unmonitored by us can always be problematic. And that is where I always say human is always more important than the technology. And in my views, it remains, it should remain. And for a positive society, it should remain. Control of technology has to be with us, come what may. Now, having said that, why do we feel the need of this topic even more today? The reason is that the technology is changing so fast, which has never been happening earlier. And therefore, if technology changes fast, then we also become fast beneficiaries, but we also become fast victims of technology. And therefore, now because the changes are the fastest, I don't think we had heard of so many technologies in one decade, which we have done now. After all, how many of us knew augmented reality, virtual reality just a decade ago? Probably none. Artificial intelligence itself, which has become a hot topic for everybody to talk about. I remember I taught it myself about 40 years ago for 1 or 2 years, and then it went out of curriculum because nobody believed that this is a subject of any use. Why I'm trying to tell you is because Dr. Hoda says I'm witness to 3 generations, so my past observations would come to some use. The artificial intelligence as a subject was considered practically useless 35 years ago and removed from the curriculum of the universities, assuming that it's waste of time for the student, it's no good. Why the reason it was considered that and why today everybody breathes AI is a question for us to think about. That is where I say technology is always contextual. You cannot say technology is good or bad in the absolute yes or no type of question. Technology will have to be visualized in terms of context. artificial intelligence at that time was felt not very relevant because we really didn't know. We knew that it's used to supplement our computational efforts, but we didn't know what could be the application areas where I could do that. And the reason for this was very simple, that the sister technology of data science was not there. The technology of data science was not there. Therefore, we really didn't understand what to do with artificial intelligence. And now, when data science came up, evolved quite a bit, data analytics came, data mining became much more advanced, data warehousing became much more advanced. It was felt that, well, we forgot about artificial intelligence. It's a wonderful tool at the moment to dig out the information more useful for the society, for the human beings in every respect of the world. Friends, artificial intelligence is one of the, if I may use the word buzzword today, because it is felt that sky is the limit for applications. I was reading an article that maybe within a few years, you will have artificial intelligence available on your machines just as browsers. And therefore, they say very soon AI will be a skill rather than a knowledge. Today, browsing is a skill. You don't have to know how does a browser work. I think most of the users have absolutely no idea from the computer science point of view, how does a browser work? And they need not have that idea because they are only interested in using the browser and they're able to do that. Now, it appears to us that if AI also becomes as comfortable as a browsing tool, then much of the AI serious researchers may have given way to the common user, which hopefully and fortunately has been the trend of computer science all over the history of computer science, all over the history of information technology. I can give you thousands of examples where computer science, research scientists in computer science or information technology worked very hard, worked for years together, but finally their aim, conscious aim or subconscious aim was to make the user-friendly technologies, to make sure that the technology is very cheap at the hands of the user, it's very friendly at the hands of the user, and everybody can use it. Today, some people who are using information technology just don't even know what does information technology mean. But they are the most potential users of information technology. Simulate the life without GPS today. Simulate the life without mobile. You will feel that you just can't even think of. I mean, I have been saying that if you deny the child a mobile for an hour, he feels he has been punished like anything by the parents. And that's the type of addiction which we have to, because we have become so much dependent on the technology. Now, again, uses and abuses of technology. If we talk about mobile phone itself, which we are talking of, we know its uses, infinite number of uses. We also know the harmful effects it has on the society. Now, how do we channelize this? How do we make sure that we can leverage this for better tomorrow? That is the subject for discussion today, and that is where every technology fits in. And being in the domain of computer science, information technology, will go that way. But friends, look at 5G, look at IoT, look at AR, look at VR, look at AI, look at data analytics, look at broadband, look at 6G, and look at 3D printing, look at 4D printing, and so on and so forth. And you find that all these technologies are helping us like anything, and they are synergic to each other. Most beautiful part of these technologies is that they help each other. I have always been saying that one of the fallout of information technology domains is that the technology tells us, well, even if you can't follow me, follow my behavior. Information technology, for example, always said, don't fail. Information technology always told us, make life easier for others. Information technology always told us, be collaborative, network together, so on and so forth. Similarly, all these technologies, they tell us that we are here in front of you, and by nature, we are here to work together to serve the society. So today, as I said, data science and AI, sensors and IoT, you just can't think of them without each other, and we have to put them together, and otherwise we are really not using these technologies to the right sense. So friends, first thing I would like to say that learn from these technologies how to behave. They have potential capabilities in mind, they have potential applications in mind, and they are ready to be put together in tandem with each other to be able to deliver the results. I think that's a very great lesson from these technologies, that collaboration is the spirit of working. And if technologies can collaborate, why can't we collaborate? Why we have to fight with each other, compete with each other institution, and so on and so forth? We can collaborate and we should collaborate. Having said that, uh, another very beautiful aspect of this domain of technology is that whenever it has created a problem, it has found its own solution by itself. Let's say when internet was considered could be a potential dangerous tool for the children, the technology itself invented child lock for the internet, and you can make sure of it. So whenever you found something wrong, likely to go on, the technological solutions itself gave you the right way of doing it and the way of arresting the badness part of it. Even the speed. I'll give you one example. Say GPT-1, GPT-2, GPT-3 came at a very breakneck speed. Ultimately, ChatGPT came, which is in technology generations, is GPT 3.5, as they say. But then next was GPT-4. And people realized, looking to ChatGPT, that if the evolution from GPT-3 to ChatGPT 3.5 is so much, what will happen in GPT-4? And therefore, a lot of discussion started, word over, that should we go in for GPT-4? And people decided, very intelligent people, people in the science, in the technology of AI, decided it's time to go slow, to go on evolving this, because it's probably we are losing control over the speed of this, and therefore something will have to be done to ensure that this speed is contained, because although it has very useful effects, but it also has some dangerous dimensions, and sometimes a small dangerous dimension can offset a very great advantage also. For example, if I go to the old, very historic example of atomic energy was a great evolution, but ultimately, atom bomb single-handedly smashed the positive uses of atomic energy. Now, people remember atom bomb for many more years than the potential uses of atomic energy, because bomb take few minutes to do the damage, but the positive use of atomic energy takes decades to give benefit to the society. Any positive evolution is always very slow. Any negative evolution can be very fast, and that is something which we have to keep in mind always, that if a technology has some positive applications as well as some negative applications, we cannot count one for one, that it has 100 positive applications and only 5 negative applications, therefore it's okay. No, we will have to keep in mind that 5 negative applications could damage much more than 100 positive applications, and therefore we have to be careful about it. After all, it was the head of AI of a very important world organization who resigned from his job and said that I cannot be party to this nonsense anymore, because the work which I've been doing for last 1 decade has the potential to damage the world, and I cannot bear this, so I resign. Now imagine the person who has given his life to AI thinks of resigning and not continuing to work in the same field because he had the negative fallouts also in mind. Why I'm trying to say that is, when you say leverage a technology for tomorrow, please always weigh positives and negatives and then give the weightage factors. Don't count like the bank balance sheet, 10 positives and 5 negatives. No, we have to see the potentials of negatives, potentials of positives, speed of negatives, speed of positives, and then come to the leveraging aspect of technology. On the business front, people have calculated that artificial intelligence just in few years will be 2 billion US dollars business in a few years, and it will become 20 times in 7 years. And if you look to the business aspect of it, 20 times in 7 years is a very, very rare growth. But if you see the damage potential, you have to keep in mind that we are not taken for a ride. Ultimately, I was reading in the chat GPT itself, it says, it puts a question to chat GPT, what should I do when in doubt? And the chat GPT replies, in such a case, trust your instincts. So even hardest technology ultimately says, well, when I fail, instincts are more important for you to be trusted, because that is where ultimately the whole thing comes. Taking a few minutes on artificial intelligence itself, I read Sony conducted a photography competition in the whole world, and best of the photographers in the world competed. And when they selected the best photograph and they held the prize distribution function, awards function, they invited the first prize holder on the stage to receive the award for the best photograph. And when they announced the award, the winner came on the stage and said, I cannot accept this award. This is because what all of you feel is the best photograph is an artificially intelligence used picture. It's not a photograph at all. It's an AI generated image which I could do in the best possible manner, and it's not a photograph. So to be genuine to the photography as a art, I cannot accept this award. Why I am trying to tell you this is, now one could argue, if artificial intelligence can give me better photograph than the best photographer in the world, what is wrong with this? Well, my dear friends, wrong with this could be the extinction of the science of photography, extinction of the profession of photography. I leave it to you all whether it would be desirable or not. You probably would see pictures. If the best jury in the world could not believe it, I and you will never be able to find out the difference. But is that desirable? Is that something to be done? I can take on this to say online education, which is a very much practiced need today. Well, as I've said repeatedly, it was a boon during COVID. There's no doubt about it. It saved years, at least 2 years, of almost every student in the whole world. But is something which I would like all of you to ponder about. It's very good, no doubt about it. But many things are good, but should they be practiced all the time? Should they be questioned once a while and see what to do, what not to do, is something which one has to debate. I am reminded of a very, very short story. They say in Delhi itself, long time ago, there were so many cobras on the roads of Delhi. And the district administration was finding it so difficult to catch all the cobras, and it was becoming a nuisance. So some senior officer thought it's a wonderful idea to involve public in that. So they announced anybody who catches a cobra will get a cash prize from the office of the collector, and therefore people were sort of motivated to kill the cobras at their own end so that the city could get rid of this menace. Went on for quite some time. I hope you all agree there doesn't appear to be anything wrong in this. It seems perfectly valid. Then came the question, how do we really know whether somebody is claiming the prize genuinely or not? So again, a smart answer came that bring the skin of the cobra, and when you deposit the skin, then only you will get the prize. Again, appears to be a very nice solution, foolproof, arresting the misuse. Then some smart people thought, why not rear the cobras first now? So they started rearing the cobras in a small bowl or something, and then kill them and take them to the collector's office to receive the prize. In the process, some cobras will run away from the bowl anyway. So ultimately, the city ended with distributing lot of cash prize and having more cobras than it used to have earlier. Now, if you look to all the 3-4 steps in the story, there doesn't appear to be anything wrong at any step. But unless you are able to foresee the uses and abuses of anything, such like things can happen. So why I was talking about online education, while it's a boon, but I'm afraid that at times we are taking it as a safer course, as a cheaper course, as a comfortable course. I'm really not sure whether it has been analyzed very properly at what cost. Some subjects are amenable for online education, some are not. Now, some people will question me, sir, we did it in COVID, everybody passed. Yes, everybody passed, there's no doubt about it. But is that the best thing to do? Or was that the best thing to do under the circumstances of COVID? This is a question which one has to ask before we perpetuate this technology forever. Otherwise, the world is still suffering from the learning deficit of the batches, 2 batches, which went through the COVID, particularly at school education. The entire world is formulating several schemes to make sure that it is taken care of. How do we take care of? But at the same time, if we continue with this, then where are we? One will have to think. So technology per se is much less to be talked about. Leveraging technology is much more needed to be talked about, simulate its positive uses, simulate its negative uses, simulate its potential applications, simulate its negative dangers, and then only you could come to a solution. Otherwise, we all know the attention span in an online education is far too less than in a face-to-face class. As a matter of fact, the researchers tell me, I've read it, that ideal online lecture is just about 15 to 20 minutes, while ideal face-to-face lectures can be 50 to 60 minutes. Now, this attention span ratio has to be captured in some mechanism, otherwise we go for a naught. Friends, science, technology, innovation will have to go together. Somebody said science is for solutions, technology is for transformation, and innovation is for impact. So we need solutions, but unless the solutions transform the society, they don't serve for a long time to come. And unless they're innovative, they don't make an impact. I would definitely like to take the example of sustainable world in this. Dr. Huda always has an annual conference where he started computing for sustainable solutions. At that time when he started this, the word sustainability was not popular as it is now. But the point is, today, I think how much we have spent on the sustainability conferences in the world over, that itself will decide the importance of the subject. And to believe in the Washington Accord, to which India is also a member, when I was the chairman till a few months ago, we have suggested that sustainability should become one of the graduate attributes. Because unless the engineers are really sensitive towards sustainable solutions, you really don't serve the society. You take any of the 17 goals, without technology, no solutions are really possible. Uh, with the technology, you need many other things, but one will have to probably do that. Sustainability is, I always say that in our Indian philosophy, sustainability was built in when we created the concept of three gods. Brahma will create the world, Vishnu will sustain the world, and Lord Shiva will make sure that something is destroyed. Because unless you destroy something, there is no place for new things to come. I remember there is still a company in USA, of course owned by an Indian only, in Chicago. He has three large groups in the company: Brahma Group, Vishnu Group, and Mahesh Group. Whenever a new ideas are to be generated, it is the job of the Brahma Group. Brahma Group is supposed to brainstorm and keep on generating new ideas. Then, but any new ideas which the brain generates goes to the Vishnu Group for another brainstorming to say, is it sustainable? Because an idea, if it is not sustainable, it has no meaning. So Vishnu Group debates, brainstorms to find out whether it is sustainable or not. Then finally it goes to Mahesh Group to find out if we have to work on this idea, which is good, which is sustainable, what do we stop in the company? Because we cannot keep on doing everything on earth. So what we stop to make room for this? And these three groups work in tandem. So that is true of technology also. What we should with the technology, where should we put a brake? Where should we try to discard it? If I give an example again, many of you would still recall that we used to have landline phones, where the line will run and you have the phone connected by the line. That was the normal method of using the phone till the cell phones or mobile phones came on the table. So we cut down the wire from the phone and made it much more useful. Today, the world believes that the type of broadband which we need, for example, 6G type of speeds, mobile will be very difficult, will be very costly to reach. We are already seeing the saturation levels of mobile. So entire Europe, more than 80% has gone back to fixed line broadband because they believe fixed line broadband is the solution to the large speeds with quality of service. Why I'm trying to tell you this is, now to say whether wire was bad will be an understatement because we are coming back to wire. So it's not wire was bad. At that point of time, wireless solution was better. But at this point of time, wired solution probably again appears to be better for the kinds of speeds, for the kinds of quality of service we are talking of. As a matter of fact, many countries in the world are debating how building bylaws should be changed to make sure that the broadband cable runs through every house, runs through every apartment. Because in the future, after 5-7 years, if you're not a fixed line connection, you may not be able to find that kind of speeds amenable to you. And then you will again start putting wires on the walls, just as we used to put electrical wires sometimes back. And we don't want to do that. The only nice part is today we can anticipate that, and we now know that the houses 10 years later or 5 years later will require a cabled broadband wire cable, and therefore let's put it inside the house walls right today. And that is the sustainability of technology which we are thinking of, which we are making use of. Friends, as I said in the beginning, all these problems become much more acute because you have to believe in the scale at which we are growing. That scale gives us a thrill of growth, but scale also gives us the problems. The number of devices which have already been connected on the internet, the number of devices which have already been connected to the internet is more than 5 times the population of the world. Now, with that kind of thing, your IPv standards, the protocols are changing. We have to think of new protocols now to make sure that it happens. Uh, India is also trying to think Bharat PV and say that whether we can make it a world standard or something. But the point is that's the speed at which we are doing. Otherwise, nobody was thinking of them beyond IPv4 just, I think, even 10 years ago. 120 devices are being connected every minute to the internet. So that's the kind of challenge. And therefore, friends, we say that the technology leveraging today will have to consider 4 factors together: research in technology, innovation in technology, development work, and entrepreneurship, and which has been summarized in the form of an acronym by somebody, not by me, called RIDE, R-I-D-E, research, innovate, develop, and be entrepreneur. So unless all these 4 go together, the leveraging of technology doesn't happen. Friends, coming back to education, which is understandable on my part when I talk, knowledge is one thing, but where to apply the knowledge is something most important. And that is where we have been saying for many years, basic science is a waste of money. Certainly not. But applied science is also required, technology is also required. So balance between science and technology, a balance between basic and applied sciences, a balance between knowledge and skills will have to be made. and then we will have to identify the focus areas for us to go ahead. Otherwise, somewhere we, in the ocean of technological innovations, we sometimes lose track of real uses of technology. When I was talking about online education, it only came to my mind. If we just think of our country, our great country, in 1811, when England started its first school, we had 7,32,000 gurukuls in India. So we had 7,32,000 kind of schools in India when England had the first school. But what was so great about those schools? They were one-to-one education. Education, all of us agree in the education world, is always a one-to-one activity. You cannot find the whole class of the same level. All of you teachers must have visualized this, realized this. You have no options. We don't give you options, therefore we have no option to go about it. But every child is an individual. Every teacher is an individual. And unless that individuality is preserved, education does not happen the way we want it to happen. Now, this aspect could be very well exploited by online education, because today a teacher can take a class of 3 students or 3 lakh students almost at the same cost. So that advantage I can take of the technology. So leveraging technology in what respect, where, to what extent are the answers which we must seek and then go about it. Otherwise, technologies will keep on changing. Another technology which I talk for 2 minutes is cybersecurity. We all became so much abundant in information. As long as information was in short supply, we had different kinds of problems. Then information became so much abundant that we had different kinds of problems. And today you all know cybersecurity. But nonetheless, the cyber crime, although it's increasing, obviously, because if digitalization is increasing, cyber crime will increase. It's not a fault of the technology. But crime per transaction is almost the same. It's not increased beyond limits. But nonetheless, the technology itself says all your security mechanisms are in for a challenge when you come to quantum computing, which is a new dimension of technology. On the anvil will come sooner than what we expect, quantum technology, and the speed which quantum technology, quantum computers will offer will be just necessary to make use of 6G and things like that, and therefore it will come, it's needed. But the speed of quantum computers will be enough to break any key, any public security, and therefore you have to think of cybersecurity in a totally different manner. Maybe after 5 years down the line, the entire curriculum of cybersecurity will be different, because it's public key encryption and decryption will not hold good, because quantum computers will be that fast to break any key. And therefore, somebody wrote an article just that we had Y2K problem about 20 years ago, and we came out of it without any harm. We are now facing Y2Q problem, ear to quantum computing. And the quantum computing will have very different challenges, which we have to keep in mind and see how we grow with it. So friends, I would only feel, look at your needs, look at your applications, look at your contexts, and then decide which technology is required, to what extent. In India, we need all these technologies, I think, for 4 primary areas. One is agriculture, then is manufacturing, then is education, and then is health. So Let's put on the acid test, as Mahatma Gandhi said, is the last person in the queue benefited. I think let's see, are the technologies on which we are spending time, effort, and energy, can they serve our agriculture? Can they serve our manufacturing? Can they serve our health sciences, or, health of the individuals, or can they help us expand education productively? Then only those technologies will be meaningful to us. Artificial intelligence has been talked about like anything, but we have yet to ensure that automation, 5G, AI, voice, blockchain, big data, and analytics are being put to academic use to the extent it has the potential of. So friends, I would only say that look to the context of the technology, look to the need of the application areas which you have, and once you are satisfied with that, then that technology is something to be pursued, something to be taken ahead. Otherwise, technology per se uh, is okay for the sake of technology, but what we need. So question the application area. Unless you start questioning the use of every technology in the context in which we are using, leveraging for a better tomorrow will remain a distant dream, because we are not, I think we're not questioning ourselves too much, which we should, that how much time should I, how much money should I spend on this technology? Is it giving me the return beneficial for my country, for my use, for my society? If I can't answer this yes, then this technology may or may not be of use to me. But if this AC test is satisfied, then yes. And I'll end only by education example. I think this is a time now which I have coined the term uh, Gurukulization of technical education, Gurukulization of education using technology. Because what Guruji used to say, he used to find out which student is apt at what subject. And now in technology, you can find out what is the, so we have talked too much about choice-based credit system, flexibility, this, that. Now, if you have to do all that, you need technology. You need technology even for management of education. And that I don't think the type of flexibility which we have talked in national education policy will be easily possible unless we have automation of the delivery systems. Because if a student go from any institution to any institution, take any subject, get any credits, then the management of all this in a decent manner, in a foolproof manner, in a productive manner, probably is even more important than online delivery of education. So we'll have to make these fine distinctions for better leveraging of technology. And with this, I think I close my talk given the time, and thank Dr. Hoda and all his team and all the societies. He gets together so many people to collaborate, and that's always a wonderful thing. I thank all those societies to give me this opportunity on a great opportunity, great occasion of IEEE Foundation Day, which he has converted into Foundation Fortnight. And thank you once again, and all the best wishes. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for this very, very special lecture covering almost last 60 years of the technology. There could not have been a better input than this, and that too on such an special occasion. Over to you, Dr. Ritika.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. I'm sure this insightful session has enlightened the participant about the real scenario, and I would say the two-sidedness of technology. There are certain questions by the participants which I would now take up with your permission, sir.
Yeah, sure.
So the first question we have, with evolving technology like OpenAI, with Google Bard and ChatGPT, are we not at the risk of killing human innovation and creativity completely?
Well, Ritika, I appreciate the question. I agree with everything except the word completely.
Yes, sir.
Nothing can kill the creativity and innovation completely unless we allow it to happen.
Yes,
Since
sir.
somebody said you can never be disgraced without your consent. Similarly, nobody can kill our creativity and innovation without our consent, without our involvement. Only problem is if we wish to take the path of least resistance and do not become more creative than needed, then this is possible to happen. But we have to now think how can be more sharper, more smarter, more creative, more innovative, and I'm sure there would be much more creativity and innovation when faced with this challenge. After world is a witness to this. Whenever a challenge had been thrown, society has come forward. That is why more innovations in the world have always happened during war times. It's a very unfortunate statement, but it is true. Because when you were thrown a challenge, you became more innovative. And therefore, let us take it as a challenge that ChatGPT has come to kill us, but we will survive. We will not allow ourselves to be killed, and I'm sure it will happen. Only thing is, don't face the death blindly, face it bravely, and you will come out brave.
Thank you, sir. Very rightly said. I would now request Professor M.N. Huda, sir, to present a certificate to KK Aggarwal, sir, as a token of remembrance for this wonderful session.
Sir, this is just a remembrance that you have been part of this lovely special lecture, which is part of this lecture series, and that too on an occasion of IEEE. And IEEE has always been close to you. You have already contributed massively in IEEE, including being editor of many of its highly reputed publications. This is just a remembrance that you will be part of
Thank you,
this.
Dr. Uda. Thank you so much.
Sir, I also request sir to kindly present the e-memento.
And thank you so much, sir. So we have
Thank
also
you.
changed and become E into the nature. Certificate, memento, bouquet, everything is E.
Good.
So it is only the uses of the technology,
Uh,
and that too with sustainability.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. And a big thank you to all dear participants. With this, we come to an end to this wonderful webinar. I thank all our distinguished panelists and participants who have continuously supported us through this webinar. A big thank you to KK Aggarwal, sir, who agreed to join us and share his knowledge with us today on this auspicious day. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Dear participants, the feedback form link to generate your certificate of participation for today's session has already been shared with all the participants. I request you to kindly click on the same and submit the same to generate yourself a certificate of participation for this wonderful session today.
Thank you, Professor Uda. Thank you, Ritika.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so
Thank
much.
you so